Yeah, welcome to the Slop Saloon. It's your boy Justin. There's two rules here. The first, you gotta have a drink. The second, you got to have an opinion. Let's go!
Contract.
Yeah.
See on both sides.
Yeah.
It's really, it's really.
That's a long ass intro. Welcome to the Slop Saloon. It's your boy Justin Slops. What to do? What to do? What to do? Thank you for joining. This episode, I really didn't have much. So I was thinking to myself, well, actually, I hope y'all doing okay. I hope the month of January of 2024 has been good to y'all. It's been all right to me, not gonna lie. Hopefully we keep this good mojo going for the rest of the year. I forgot my segments. What we drinking? We drinking some Bamboo XO, bro. This shit right here, bro. This shit right here knocked down a man that many drinks don't knock out. I was okay. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe he drank more than me that week. It's Freddie. Maybe he drank more than me. I really don't remember, but I really was okay. Like this shit right here is my elixir. Like this shit don't do shit to me, but it's strong as a muff. Actually, I'm lying. I'm gonna be drunk as a bug at the end of this freaking episode. Well, hopefully I'm gonna be drunk as a bug. I'll mess with Bamboo. This version, or I think the company entirely, but this version right here is Rick Ross, Lil Wayne's version. I'm pretty sure the whole company itself is owned by those two, Rick Ross and Lil Wayne. Shout out, no shout out. I really don't got a shout out, no shout out this week. I didn't really think about it much. Not gonna lie to you. I'm really excited about today's subject, or the topic of this episode. So as I was explaining earlier, I really didn't have much to. Like, I wasn't thinking. I didn't have a lot in my head about like how to what should be the next episode, but then I came up with this good idea. Like I love music. I love it. I love it. Part of why I love music so much is because I find the people who make music so interesting. Like to me, the best baseball player is Shohei Ohtani, and the best artist, or my favorite artist, or best artist at the time, in my opinion, like I'm infatuated with how both like became so good at their respective fields. I'll dive deep into music. I'll dive deep into the artists. Like I want to know who produced it, where, how. Like I want to know a lot of stupid crap about music. Like what some of the inspirations were, just so that way I can feel a little more in tune with music. I feel I like that stuff. I know a lot of people nowadays call themselves autistic. If I had an autistic trait, it'd be some crazy shit with that. I don't know why I said that, but maybe that's a little insensitive. I apologize if I hurt anyone's feelings, but whatever. Yes, so it's gonna be called Artist Highlight. Hopefully, we'll be able to do one a month or a little less than that if I get some more episode ideas. Or as the sports year, I know football's about to end. That's a bummer for us, but we got NBA All-Star coming up, and there's always a lot of snubs on that. Oh wow, I didn't even say salud, opa, whatever the hell, and any other. But yeah, we got NBA All-Star coming around. There's always a snub or two that we're a little partial to because we're fans of the sport. MLB's about to kick off soon. We got some spring training. We got the Yankees making crazy moves, the Dodgers making crazy moves, the Red Sox staying still. Today, some Hall of Famers were inducted, so we'll have some sports podcasts coming to you soon. Hopefully, we get some opinion pieces coming to y'all soon too. I know in the past we had some females on here. We talked a lot about stupid crap. But yeah, today's artist highlight. The artist highlight of today is Frank Ocean. As you could tell, I was playing Chanel on the loudspeaker or on my little HomePod when y'all joined. I'm a big fan of Frank Ocean. I know the world itself is now privy to his smarts, or his he's not just in music now. He got Homer, he got that necklace. I'm pretty sure I read that he was doing some other stuff too. But I don't remember. I should have done a little more homework on that before I mentioned it. But Frank Ocean to me is one of those top 5 artists. Those lists always fluctuate, given time of your life or most recent project and relevancy of music at the current times. But yeah, Frank Ocean is a singer-songwriter, producer. He's done it all in the music game. He's been in the background to some of your favorite songs, and he's written some of your. And he's and he's written as part of the background, produced some of your favorite songs, and I'm sure he sang some at least a couple of your favorite songs. Hopefully, that guy is an incredible artist. So we'll start off at the beginning. My beginning of Frank Ocean was 2012. 2011 is my sophomore. All right, so I'm pretty sure it was my sophomore year. Yeah, it was my sophomore year. I was living on 24 Rogers Street in London. That was a wild time in my life. But yeah, I remember finding out, thinking about you, and I could not take that song off repeat. I could not. I didn't really understand the song. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, he was desperate for this other person. He was so in love with the other person. He already had the other person, but didn't have the other person. Like, it was a lot of emotions, especially for like a little weird. I was going through some wild little relationship crap, little high school things going on. So I like the idea of that song very much. So he initially comes out with "Thinking About You" and then disappears for a while. A while was like a year later. "Thinking About You" didn't really blow up like that. Like, if you were into music, you definitely knew, like, thinking about, like, that shit was prevalent. But it kind of goes away. He goes away, doesn't release another song, or so I thought. He didn't release another song, or he had other projects, but he was just waiting to have enough content down to drop Channel Orange. And Channel Orange was, my God, at the time, it might be a classic. If you go back and you listen to some of the songs, it might be a classic. Like, it really might be. But the beginning of Frank Ocean mainly was, he was a writer. He, from his music, I know, or we know that he was raised in Louisiana, was dishomed, or I don't. Yeah, I think it's dishomed. I think that's the right word. Well, fuck it. Well, he was displaced by Katrina, and he had to move to Texas. He had to move to Houston, I believe. Where I think in Blonde we can kind of tell that, I don't know if he was with his mom anymore or living with her, or what the case may have been there. But yeah, pretty sure he was alone in Texas. And he starts off as a writer. He wrote like some big songs, or he's written for a lot of artists. Some of his writings, like one of his earliest things is Beyonce, "I Miss You" by Beyonce. He's written for Brandy. I don't remember the song. I'm a big J Biebs guy. I'm a big Justin Bieber guy. "Bigger" by Justin Bieber. Maybe I just don't recall, but you gotta listen to that. He's written "Fish" for Tyler the Creator. "She Did Give a Fuck" by The Internet. "Pictures" for Connor Maynard. "One Thing" by Alicia Keys. Horse for Earl Sweatshirt. My Willing Heart for James Blake. Don't Do It for Nerd. Nerd. Royalty for Nas. Back to You for Dapo Torimo. And most recently, he's written Virginia Black for Virginia Beach for Drake. It's kind of if you kind of can picture all those names that I put on there, you know, he goes from Beyonce to Alicia Keys to James Blake, Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, Drake. He's the internet. He's kind of everywhere where he's writing stuff. That's why to me he's the absolute. He's number one. Kanye is a close number two. Kanye didn't have a lot of he didn't have a miss for 3-4 albums. Like literally, like his albums don't have a skip. But anyways, it's Frank Ocean's episode. We're gonna do one on Kanye. He's just the guy, you know. Some of my favorite songs are Lens or Provider. In My Room is a crazy good song. I know I'm against the current kind of guy, so I can't name any of the songs on Blonde. But Blonde is an incredible album. He wrote most of that album, if I'm not mistaken. When I was looking back at the credits of this episode and stuff, I'm pretty sure he wrote all of this. So with that being said, that he's a writer, he's, from what I know, he's in these rooms and he's writing for people. There's been I've seen a lot of interviews and read a lot of crap that he worked alongside SZA when he worked for Beyonce. Like, they were pretty cool. But really what people may know him from is Odd Future. There was a show on MTV by Tyler the Creator, but it was also a group. It was a group of just creatives in general. A couple of them were film guys. Tyler Creator was a comedy music guy. Frank Ocean, obviously music. You got Earl Sweatshirt. You got, and I forget the name of the rest of the guys because they were mostly on the show and I didn't really watch it. But yeah, that's really his upbringing. To the point where there's a song where he's saying he was like sleeping on Tyler's couch, and we're pretty sure that Tyler the Creator and Frank Ocean dated for a while. So that's kind of funky. Yeah, he's an artist known. I don't know what he meant that 10 for. He's an artist known for taking a lot of breaks between his music. So, like I explained earlier, he took a year in between dropping Thinking About You and Channel Orange, and then he took, I'm pretty sure it was 3 years in between, or 4 years in between Channel Orange and Blonde. And when Blonde came out, that was arguably the greatest, like the best album. Views was out at the time. P3 by Party Next Door was out at the time. Future had just dropped some shit earlier that summer too. I really forget what Future dropped, but he dropped some fire shit earlier that summer. I know he dropped whatever. He dropped some on DJ Esco and stuff. A Lil Uzi had just come out. A Boogie was out. Like, music was tough. Like, it was a good year for music. The Life of Pablo dropped earlier that year. If I am recalling if I'm recalling the year correctly, it was a tough year to put out music, and Blonde was by far number one on the charts, or number one on my chart at least. With this artist highlight episode, we're gonna take a look at the music and the artist. The artist and the person, for at least from what we know. Some artists are more reserved than others. In our case, like Frank Ocean is a quite reserved person, so I couldn't find too much. I have been a follower of Frank Ocean for however many years, 10+ years now. So I know a little bit, so I didn't have to do too much scrounging or looking around. But yeah, it's tough to find stuff on Frank Ocean. I know he's done an interview literally, like, and the interviewer asked him, like, why don't we hear more from you? Like, what it is, like, what's up? And he just, like, he answered with nothing. He was just like, you guys don't need to know anymore. about my life than I want to give you, and that was a little disappointing because I like to learn a lot about artists for the process, so that sucked. Uh, but some people are just reserved. Yeah, I want Nardwar to get on his ass. I don't know if any of y'all have seen a Nardwar episode, but go on YouTube and look up Nardwar. He does he knows everything about artists. He's the best researcher in the business. Like he'll pull up records that their parents made or that uncles made or they made way back in the past that artists may forget or not even know of, and he'll present it to them. Nardwar episodes on YouTube, it's kind of an inspiration for these type of episodes here. I will be using Nardwar as a resource, but again, Frank Ocean, we ain't got shit on him, sadly. Yeah, I already talked about how he was displaced because of Katrina. He lived in LA. I went online and I wanted to see, because to me he doesn't have an East Coast, West Coast, down south type of vibe. I wanted to see how people categorized him. It's kind of funny. It's just down south Western music. You can hear some of that LA vibes in his music, especially when he's singing. But to me, it's more soul, like down south. It reminds me of music that was being made back in the 1950s or 60s, like Duke Ellington, or maybe I've dated Duke Ellington around, but I'm pretty sure it's around that time. Nina Simone, like it's really soulful more than I don't know if it has a genre quite really. But some of his projects all of his projects, this one's not an album, it's a collection. This one's really like a playlist of 100+ songs. It's called Lonnie I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm gonna go Brooks. It's Breaux. If you go online on YouTube and stuff, you might find some of that stuff. I know a lot of that music I pirated way back. I even deleted a lot of them off of my music for some stupid reason. Okay, here we go. Lonnie Bordeaux collection. Some of my favorite songs on here. Bedtime is good. I think I Need to Love, If I'm in Love, I think are great songs. Miss You So, No Bonnie, No Love, Oh in Love, Sucker for Love. The Mansoor is Sucker. There should be two songs on there. One's Sucker for Love. Sucker for Love, I think is the better one. That's a 64 song project, 3 hours and 35 minutes. Honestly, I remember I found this my freshman year of college, and I told myself that it did not have a miss at all. Nostalgia by Frank Ocean has I love that album. It has a deep place in my heart. That was the last year I played baseball. I played 1 year after that in high school, but that year there was the most fun. I remember I was in practice on first base, and this guy named Cam was on first base. He was the base runner, and I kept singing "Swim Good, Swim Good," and he looked at me. I sang out loud at one point, and he looked at me kind of confused, and I was like, why is he looking at me like that? And he dives back into first base after a play, and he tells me, he's like, "Yo, you know who Frank Ocean is?" And I go, "Do you know who Frank Ocean is?" I honestly thought I was the only human being on the planet who knew who Frank Ocean was. I was going on some deep YouTube. All I did was watch music videos on YouTube, just try to find as many young projects of artists. And I thought this was one of his earlier shit. It was dated really old. It was only 2011, but I'm pretty sure on YouTube it said it was older. The next piece of work there, I wasn't wrong. I was scared that. Oh, here we go. We're on Spotify now. See, shout out having both apps, even though Apple is better. That album consists of Street Fighter. Or the best songs on here are gonna be one like his most famous song is Novocaine. I know that's one of them. Uh, and Swim Good. Swim Good is fire. My favorite song on this album is There Will Be Tears. I don't know if he's writing from. This is one of those songs where his artistship is the reason why I love music. He's singing while he's next to his dead grandfather. And it starts off, "My granddaddy was a player," and I'm pretty sure he alludes to his dad batting on both sides of the plate, being bisexual. My friends said they weren't so bad, and he talks about how it's not. People are asking him why he's feeling such emotions if it's his grandfather. It's a father he never really knew. His father stepped out on him, and his grandfather was his father figure, from what the song says. And people are asking him, like, this can't be so sad, so bad. You can't miss something you ain't have. But I can. I'm sad because there will be tears. Yeah, I've no doubt there will be smiles. And that, like, at that year, one of my mom's boyfriends, or one of the most important people in my life, had just passed. And I remember I went to his wake, and I felt so weird that we begin the wake by watching videos or a sideshow of a person's life, of their happy moments, and we're all crying, right? Like, we're all wearing dark colors. No one wants to talk too loud. No one wants to make too sudden of a movement. Like, it's just, yeah, it's a it's a weird place to be awake, whether you're the family affected or you're a friend of the family who's affected, because you really feel a lot of like sad emotion. Won't say it's negative, but sad emotions. But he talks about how there'll be a few smiles, and at that wake, it was weird. Like, when people were giving their eulogy or talking about his name was Jimmy. No one went up there with a sad story. Everyone that went up there went with a story to make people laugh, feel good about the moment, or to feel good about the person that just passed. And it was weird for that was weird for me, like, because it was actual laughter, it was actual, like, happiness that was being displayed, or that can be displayed in rough moments like that. And I found it weird that he put it in music for everyone to have an opinion on, because that's what we do. We listen to music, and our first opinion is whether we like it or not, and then whether you care, you try to go deeper into the music so that you understand, like, what the heck the artist really is trying to say. The name of that song is There Will Be Tears. I think it's a minute and a half song. It's upbeat but really sad lyrics. I think most people listening or watching this will enjoy it. It's a pretty good song. Then the next project comes out in 2012. That is Channel Orange. That song, from top to bottom, to me, has a skip, maybe. I'm looking down at the song list now, and I really can't pick a favorite. Thinking About You, I overplayed that song, so I don't listen to that anymore. But Fertilizer is so good. Sierra Leone is so good. Super Rich Kids, Pilot Jones, Crack Rock, Bad Religion. My God, that might be the best song on the album. Pink Matter with Andre 3000, so good. Forrest Gump to finish out. I don't got. Yeah, this album made me a fan of music. Like I was in band at the time, and listening to that album just made me want to make my own song. That is a very good album. If you want to cry, you want to go talk about social politics and miss your mom, and it's awesome. That album is really really good. And then the next piece of work would be Blonde. That came out in 2016. I was right, 4-year gap. I'm a genius. I'm just a really big fan, and most of you guys know this album is incredible. Is one of the best albums of our time, at least common time, whatever the heck you want to call it. It starts off with Nike, so good. Ivy to me was one of my favorite songs on the album. Uh, I'm gonna skip a couple that people may really like to go to Self Control. I think Self Control is top 3 Frank song of all time. I like Solo a lot. Facebook Story is a skit, and I really like that very much. It's about a guy in love, and his girl just won't trust him online, and he doesn't like the mistrust, so he doesn't befriend her on Facebook. So she throws a temper tantrum, and he goes, "Well, if you just want to live in a digital life, then hey, we're done here." And that was just nutty to me. He was talking about that in 2016. I was a young bull. I was, I think, 19 or 20 at the time, so I didn't understand much of life or much of anything. But now that I look back at that song, not that that certain situation has affected me in any way, but just the emotion or the thought process going behind that type of skip like that, I really liked. And then Godspeed to me is one of it's an incredible song. I don't wishing you Godspeed. It's the ultimate breakup song. Like, you want to break up with somebody, or you're in the middle of a breakup and you're done feeling bad for yourself or feeling bad about the situation, go listen to Godspeed. Like, it'll put your head on right on straight. It's so good. And then his last body of work that we all know is Endless. Now, you may be like, what? There's an album after Blonde? There is an album after Blonde. It is a video album. He released this album to get out of his contract. He is an independent artist now. He had I think it's a 3-album or a 3-album contract. I forget with who. If you asked me like 3 years ago, I definitely would have known. I should have looked that up. This episode was purely off the dome, other than the writing. The writing credits, I definitely had to look that up. Yeah, that album, I didn't really listen to it because I didn't want the numbers to drive up. I said, well, like, I don't know, fuck it. If we're getting out this album, we getting out. Now that's the music. That's the good parts of the person. He's had some controversy come like as he's come up through the ranks. The first one was when he alluded to not being straight. I remember that. It was the early days of Twitter, and people ate him alive. He did not deserve that. No person of any sexual orientation really deserved what he got because he said he wasn't straight, or he wasn't just straight. Everyone did think he was gay. For sure, I thought he was gay. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a wild time. Like, homophobia was big in the world. I think a Celtics player had just come out gay, or just right after that album. Or no. Nah, that Celtics player was way before that came out gay. I don't remember. I'll take that back. I don't remember that Celtics player, but whatever. It was a wild time to be gay, man. 2016, it don't seem like that long ago. It's 8 years ago, but it was a wild time to be gay. We've come a long way in 8 years. And then it comes out that, so I'm lying. He said that after Channel Orange, and that was in 2012. I was right. Yeah, there was a basketball player I don't remember his name, but he was like a center or power forward that came out gay. Yo, and the Celtics cut him like a month later. He wasn't that very good, but that is wild. You can't cut a guy. I mean, maybe he went to the media to not be cut. Smart ass man. But anyways, yeah, it was he did release that right after Channel Orange, and that was just a wild time. That was 12 years ago. Yeah, that was a wild time to be gay. I mean, that's still kind of wild, but here in America, it was a wild time. And then last year, he had a very lackluster Coachella set. There were a lot of people clamoring for their money back, or I don't know if clamoring is the right word, but whatever. A lot of people asking for their money back because he showed up late to the set, and they said the set wasn't very good and short. Like the DJ didn't know what songs he wanted to do, so maybe it wasn't the most rehearsed Coachella set. And he caught a lot of slack for that, especially for being out the game for so long after doing that. Like, it's kind of disrespectful to the fans. Third and final segment is what does the artist mean to me or mean to you? Frank Ocean is a pioneer to me. At the time where he was coming out, Kanye was at the top of his game. Jay-Z was at the top of his game. Drake was just coming into the game. Lil Wayne was going crazy. Rick Ross was going nutty. Wale had a little, he had a little choke. He had a little chokehold on me. Lotus Flower. That shit was fire. Maybach Music was going crazy. Meek Mill was just coming in the game. In New York, we got Nobody. Down south, you got this weird guy singing about being a stoner. You got Future popping off. I'm not a big Young Jeezy or Young any of those guys, so yeah, I'm sorry if I'm missing a whole lot of this music game. Flow Rider was going crazy. Bus Rhyme was in the game. Yo, Chris Brown was he was breezy. This man, it was crazy. Rihanna was kicking ass. It was dude. It was not a time to be a brand new artist, and he came in, and to me, he stole the show. Both times he's dropped, he stole the show. This guy, yeah, he's just a pioneer. He in the arts, it's always been okay to be not straight, but to public, it's the public doesn't always accept. The general public doesn't always accept a small group within the general public, and the artists fall into a small group of general public, and then the gay scene within both the general public and the arts isn't the majority. So when someone comes out and they're openly not straight or gay or bi or any of that stuff, it was met with some resistance. Even now, I'm sure you don't just come out. I mean, hold on, it's 2024, man. You might come out and just be like, "Yo, I'm gay." I think you still get eaten alive there, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough. He just came out and did it. He's written for some of the biggest artists in the world. He was in No Church in the Wild with Jay-Z and Kanye on their biggest album, like Pressure. Almost made the best song. Like other than Niggas in Paris, like Church in the Wild is like the best song on that album. He was in Magna Carta, Elephants Tusk on Ivory Coast, Mercedes down the road, down the road. I hope my blacks in no dirt, just white tuxedo. Like this guy has been, he's the best. He's just the best. I really wish he can come out with some more music because I miss that man. I miss new music by him. And I love to rub it in people's faces when I tell them I found a good artist and that he's probably the best. Shout out an argument I had with my cousins. Told y'all motherfuckers about Bad Bunny. I know y'all be like, well, he wasn't as big as Osuna back then. Was suck my beep 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 beep. That man's the man. Yeah.